We should have done this 10 minutes ago.
I love the fact when I tell Manny, hey, we can just start this show early. He says, fuck it, let's just do it for fuck's sake. Man, I love it when you guys are so tired that you can't do it. But let's celebrate and praise the name of Gunther. He is the new he is the new Intercontinental Champion. He is the savior of the broken, the beaten, and the damned. He will bring relevance back to the IC title. And look at Ludwig right there. Just let him know. Oh,
he's the only champion I respect right now.
Well, Marcus, I know you'll beef with Roman Reigns because he don't come to work.
He's the only one on TV. Yeah, he's the only one on TV, to be honest. At this current moment. If you go into the AEW, they have an interim thing going on, and everybody has a belt, but none of those belts are actually, as important.
We will talk about that on the show today because I know how you feel about the too many champions in AEW. Just too many damn champions. But man,
I hate it WWE too, and their champions don't even show up.
There's only one champion that don't come to work. It's only one champion that don't come to work.
What are you talking about? Dana Brooks is never working.
Hey, Mark, we have a champion that showed up on SmackDown that I think we all wish would have stayed home, but
wait, Ricochet ain't worked in 8 months.
Mark, I'm not talking about Ricochet, my brother. I'm not talking about Ricochet. I'm just saying,
Ricochet ain't worked in 8 months before he got his ass whooped this week.
Rightfully so, though. I don't think
WWE champions don't do shit. Theory, formerly known as Austin, what has he done? Champions ain't shit anywhere. Back in my day, they were champions. Damn it, they were racist, but they were champions.
This is a man that's extremely tired. We'll be back right after this.
Welcome everybody to the Sharpshooters. Man, he just why you threatened me with a good time. I'm Eric.
I'm Lord Manny Hayes.
And I'm good time, Marcus the Graffideli. I don't
know.
Oh wow, good time. Well, go ahead. But to the announcement, Briggs can't throw a punch to save his life, man. If
my life,
if my life, no,
I like Jensen. I like Buchanan's son. But
Briggs is the type of guy that brings a pillow to a knife fight.
Yeah, and Briggs, if my life depended on if Briggs had to land 3 punches and he had 10 chances, I would die. I already know that.
Well, he can't land his boot either, Eric. He can't land his boot.
All right, he can't land shit. I don't understand.
I'm gonna dub him this. As safe as Cody Rhodes was with Seth Rollins, I would say he'd be safer with Jensen. With Jensen, because nothing would have landed on that shoulder. He'll be like, man, this is great.
But gentlemen, I have a question for you. Do you guys think he's more accurate in practice? It's just that when the lights come on, he can't land anything. Like in practice, he's hitting all the punches. Like, yeah, look at him go. He's the next star. And the lights come on, he can't land shit.
He's just a soft motherfucker.
Okay, that's what happens. Anyway, we don't have much time because I have to go get tested again to see if I still have COVID. Who knows? So I just want to jump right into it.
That doesn't take long at all.
But we take long, so I'm trying to get us right in. So
true.
I was browsing the internet and the interwebs, and I came across something in the mid-card mess, and I thought it was very interesting. I thought maybe we can answer these 3 simple questions to start the show off. And we're going to start off.
The answer is no, and yes.
Wow, it's not a yes or no question. So, Manny, I'll start with you since Marcus is trying to read my mind and come with the question. The first question, who was your very first favorite wrestler?
Unfortunately, no, it wasn't him. It was Macho Man.
Macho Man.
I was about to say, unfortunately, it was Bret Hart, but it wasn't.
Okay. So, Marcus.
Why unfortunately Bret Hart? What's your beef with Bret Hart?
Because when we start traveling back through time in the world of Roy's Retro and all these other things, we remember the You could do it, Hogan. You could do it at WrestleMania night.
I remember Bret Hart spray painting the N-word across the Nation of Domination locker room more than you could do it,
There
Hogan.
was no proof.
The Canadian
No
flag
proof
was
of that.
there.
And
It
by
probably
the
was
way,
DX.
Eric, by
It
the
was
way,
probably
you were
DX.
18 when that was going on. You were 18.
Marcus, who was your
Nothing to do
first
with your
favorite wrestler?
childhood. We go with the Ultimate Warrior. Colorful,
Okay.
ran out, loud, talked about nothing.
Okay.
Based my whole life off that motherfucker.
Ironically, I can tell you about I had to think about this one because I thought it was gonna be Macho Man, like Manny said. Then I thought it could have been Ultimate Warrior. But after a lot of careful thought about it, my first favorite wrestler was because I had the action figure, was Junkyard Dog. Don't know why, but Junkyard Dog was my first
You
favorite
didn't even
wrestler.
see Prime Junkyard Dog.
No, I didn't, but that
You
was
got
it.
washed up Junkyard Dog on the WWF.
You know, for a second, I thought he was going to say Hogan, and I was like, "Oh."
So, Marcus, I'll go to you
Hogan.
first. Marcus, who is your current favorite wrestler?
No, that is it's a complete 180 from my childhood to youth. I'm at Brian Danielson, who, just a wrestler who talks shit and stuff.
So that's your. I should have known that one. That was right there and there. Manny, who's your current favorite
You don't even
wrestler?
have to ask me these questions.
I think it would have to be. No, I know who it is. It's my boy, John Cena.
Wait, he's saying you're not current. Manny, he's not current. He's not active right now. I want somebody that's actively.
He's coming back to Raw. He's coming back to Raw in 2 weeks.
But currently, when I'm asking you this question right now, he's not current. He's on the active roster.
He is on the active roster. He doesn't go away.
You can't see him.
You just can't see him.
Okay, so John Cena. So I had to think about this one. And most people think I would have went with Seth. Probably would have went with Cody, but I'm not. I'm going in a different direction. My current favorite wrestler is not Matt Hardy. Is someone when you take off their shoes, they're the most dangerous entity in professional wrestling. That is Charlotte Flair.
Yes,
Charlotte Flair is by far. I think that when Charlotte shows up, that's what I care. And I was disappointed she wasn't there. But I was like, Charlotte.
You and your white women, man. You and your white women. I knew it.
If the snake came to work, if the snake came to work, she would have been my favorite. But the snake decided to walk home, and no one even talks about the tag team titles anymore. And so the last question, Manny, I go from you because it might be the same.
Anymore.
It might be your same.
Cody, it's that cycle of where's MJF going? Oh my god! Cody's bruised.
Yeah, damn tendon.
He's doing tricep and
his
so
pec.
much his. Yeah, in the cycle of news or the world we live in today, things just revolve so fast, and it's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. That MJF, where's he going? Or Naomi and Sasha to MJF, where they're going? To Tony's tour back to now, I guess Paige leaving. News just goes like that, and people don't care about shit no more because everybody's just on to the next thing.
El Luchador Barefoot Jay, he says, is greater than Barefoot Charlotte. It depends on what situation you're putting them in. If it's going to be a wrestling match, I'm going with Barefoot Charlotte all the time.
I go with Barefoot Charlotte anytime. Barefoot Charlotte is dastardly.
What happened? I don't even recall seeing Barefoot Jade.
That happened on this episode of Rampage. Yes.
Where it was lined up and she took out Chris Statlander.
Like Briggs, she connected. So the last question. So Manny, I'm going to you because yours might be the same as your current, but who is your all-time favorite wrestler? All time.
Yeah, Manny, where your feet? Where your feet at, Manny? Where the feet at?
It's the Wild Samoans.
I'm pretty sure it'll be John Cena, right?
It's still John Cena.
Yeah, I was like, what you told me your current favorite wrestler is John Cena.
Cena
I'm like,
creates emotion in people. Whether you hate him or you love him, there's an emotion there. No one can ever go, you know what? I felt nothing when John Cena came out.
That's a good point. I mean,
I've done that before when John Cena's come out. There's been a few times.
You were depressed.
Hey,
it's different.
John Cena made me have a tear this week when he credited that wish on SmackDown. I was like, damn, John Cena. I was like, damn you, man. Marcus, all-time favorite, Marcus.
All-time favorite?
Yeah.
Well,
Coco beware.
Well, when you say all-time favorite, you basically go with who's your current and what's your past favorite better than your current favorite.
Not necessarily, Marcus, because your first favorite is completely different from your all-time favorite.
That's right.
Because Junkyard Dog ain't gonna be mentioned never again. That was just that.
What do you mean ever again?
Like, I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know how to answer this question because I go back and forth with it every single.
is
week.
it The Rock? But it's either The Rock or Steve
It's-
Austin.
no,
Which
it's
one you go
It's
with?
a cross between Steve Austin, The Rock, maybe Undertaker.
Who you got to pick one for today, Marcus. Pick one.
Now, what am I picking them for? Is it to have a match? Because it
It's-
wouldn't be the other ones. It'd be Brian.
No,
Danielson
Marcus.
before a
It's
match.
like, you know what? If you're talking to someone that doesn't understand,
if I had to
wrestling,
save their life.
no, if you're talking to
Their
someone
life
that doesn't
is so
understand wrestling, and you
They gotta die.
have to tell them, watch this. This is my favorite wrestler of all
I go
time.
Steve Austin. I go Steve,
Steve
Austin.
Austin.
There you go.
Okay. Thank you.
I go Steve
My all-time favorite, no surprise. Believe it or not, Triple H came close. He came close. However,
What? He's everybody's pride.
Randy Keith Orton. Randy Orton is my favorite. He supplanted Shawn Michaels as my all-time
minute.
favorite. Randy
How is
Orton.
Randy Orton your all-time favorite, but you didn't put him in your current favorites?
Because I knew what the category was, and I wanted to make sure I got all my favorites out there.
The man's been around for 20 years.
The
Yeah.
man's been sandbagging for half of his career, and
Yeah, but Manny,
And the
you
other
have to
half
point
he was
out,
sitting in bags.
when Randy Orton cares, when he's motivated, he's one of the best performers that they got. And John's, your all-time favorite and my all-time favorite has some epic feuds. Epic feuds.
Manny's all-time favorite is then, now, and forever. Johnson.
So as Marcus alluded
and
to,
then Eric said, "Oh, your all-time favorite, my all-time favorite has some matches, some classics. You guys are doing that together. You guys are basically the Raw intro, and you make me sick." And I feel like these are safe questions, Eric. These are safe questions. Now, the typical question was, "Who's your next favorite? Huh? Who's your next favorite wrestler?"
would it be all-time favorite or next favorite or current?
Who's coming through? Who's coming through?
Who's coming through? That's gonna be your favorite wrestler, as you said.
Oh, my future favorite wrestler right now, Seth Rollins. I love me some
He's in
Seth.
it now.
I don't know. No, he's in the now. Let's do.
He's
Oh.
in it now.
Whoa.
You gotta guess. This is somebody that ain't nowhere right now. Like your Jensen, who can't throw his hands right. I mean, who punches look like they about to have as much ferocity as anybody. If you get hit by one, you dead. But because they don't connect ever,
Does Trick
he looks
Williams
like Ronda
count?
Rousey.
Does Trick count?
Trick Williams counts.
I will go with Trick right now. I see something in Trick. I don't know what I see.
So you say in like 10 years, Eric gonna have a Trick shirt on and talk about Talk Your Talk.
Talk your talk.
As he becomes world champion.
So I throw this question back to you. Who is your future star, Marcus? Who is your future star?
No, you can't throw it back to me.
I threw
because
it back.
this ain't Uno. You skip me and you go to Manny, and then Manny will throw it back to me. That's how we do it. This is conversation Uno, goddammit. And you can't just the rules.
Honestly, say that might be a cool show, Conversation Uno, which is whatever that means.
But we just throw questions at him, but also play Uno when we draw a card.
For me, it's gonna be Charlotte 2.0. Tiffany Stratton.
Damn,
There's
man,
there's something in that woman, man.
you actually let him do the skip card, and you're gonna reverse the back. You let him get his conversation of Uno across. Damn you! Wow, Tiffany Stratton, though. Okay, I can see that.
Pick,
Who you got,
Marcus?
Marcus?
What? Impressive, It's shocking. It's shocking.
Yeah, I'm surprised how well she's doing.
I got like, oh, she's better than I thought she was, and I had her like it was low expectations. Then it was like, okay, and then it was like, oh, she exceeded again. Oh, didn't see it happening. I don't know. There's nobody out there in this world. Nobody loves me.
It was your question. You don't have an answer to it.
No, I don't. I didn't plan on actually answering the question.
Well, Marcus, we'll give you all show to think about it. So I will let you know, like everybody who's watching the show and listening, I would like to know the answer. So please go down to the comments. Let us know who your first favorite wrestler was, your current favorite wrestler, all-time favorite, and who's the future. Let us know in the comments. Also, Elizabeth, I will not let you sit down there and defame Patrick. Patrick was accused. He was never convicted, and he was found innocent. But the community canceled his ass. And that's why Velveteen ain't the star that he once was. And damn, you guys, he will be back in 2022. I bet you.
I might go with MJF. That is a really
No, that's a cop out. That's
a
cop
cop out,
I-
Marcus.
He's on the verge already to break through. That's a cop out.
So speaking of someone that broke through, let's talk about someone who announced they made an announcement that their contract with WWE will be expiring on July 7th. That is Paige, aka Saraya. Many people can argue that she was the one of the starting factors of the women's revolution. I mean, she also had an epic tape when she was at NXT. She started very young, but she had an unfortunate neck injury. Manny, she is one of your country women. How will you remember Paige in WWE?
The fact that Sasha Banks finished her off and that she couldn't finish wrestling ever again. Fuck Sasha Banks. But really talented in the ring.
Her last leg.
Really talented in the ring. It's a shame that that career ended so early when it did, because I think she was like 25 when she actually fully retired. And it's a shame that WWE didn't really continue using her as an on-screen character, because like you could have still used her, and you wouldn't have had to deal with like Pierce on screen all the time, and then you could have pushed Sonya Deville back onto TV a lot earlier than anything. So it's a shame. It's a shame that her career came to an end so soon.
I think one of the reasons why WWE didn't use her as much is because I think Paige was one of those outspoken individuals that, hey, if I don't like it, I'm not going to do it. And I think that was one of her credits. It's like, I beat to my own drum, and like, you guys are not going to stop me from having my Twitch, bastards. I don't care what you're saying. I'm going to keep my Twitch. Marcus, Paige hanging it up. What was your impression? And are you afraid that she may go to AEW?
All right. So before we go further, I have an answer.
Oh, he has an answer to his future.
Yes. And so I ignored your question completely and forgot what you guys were talking about, because I was thinking about who could be the next. And I'm going with Diamond Mine Zone, Mr. Damon Kemp. Just because that one time he fired up, I was like, that could be something one day. That could be something.
Yeah, but he'd be nothing without Roddy.
Roddy is nothing without Roddy. Roddy is great. But I think Kemp and his Olympian brother, they may do something one day. They may do something. We'll see.
It could be the Usos, man.
Gabe Stevenson. And for Paige, I thought she was trash as after her, not like her career, her wrestling career as a wrestler, as her own individual. She was fine. She did everything right. She was a good wrestler, good personality, and everything like that. But when it came to managing and being GM, and then like her stuff on WWE backstage, wasn't really that good. It wasn't. She I feel like she's one of those people that can only work for herself, and she was trying to get the Absolution. I think she was in charge of. Was it Absolution?
Yeah.
That didn't really work, and her GM page wasn't really a thing. It just didn't work, and then she had all her scandals with Del Rio. I think post-retirement Paige just came off as like damaged goods. It was just like, damn, she really is broke.
I really think that Del Rio
and Del Rio
more than WWE did. Like Del Rio was really a fuckboy what he did to Paige.
Well, he fucked her over mentally, didn't he?
Yeah, it's happy to see that she bounced back for such a toxic relationship, because it was moments where she looked bad, like real bad. So I mean, hopefully, if she does go to All Elite Wrestling and she is medically cleared by a real doctor, although WWE doctors won't clear her for her neck, that she doesn't go and suffer any more traumatic injuries. I think it would be interesting. I think that she could be an asset to their division, even if she went to Impact Wrestling, because I know we always talking about going to AEW, but Impact is also an option and avenue. So in a side,
don't slip on that NWA. Don't slip on that NWA.
I won't, Marcus. But Marcus, this story I just want to mention for you, and Manny, you could chime in. But there was a report that there was an altercation between Jericho and MVP in Houston. No one knows what took place, but apparently Jericho and Matt Hardy were kicking it together, and MVP showed up unannounced there to kick Jericho's ass. Jericho apparently said he doesn't beat up jobbers, but needless to say, no one knows what the beef was about. But Marcus, I know you were a man with insight
on speculation. I'm chime in on something that MVP came out and said, damn, Dirt Sheets done got it right. but got it wrong at the same time, all the time.
But Marcus, at the same time, you're the king of speculation and coming up with great stories, Marcus. Why did MVP want to get up into that ass of Chris Jericho, Marcus?
Well, all lives matter. Jericho is a thing, and I can see MVP taking umbrage with some of the Jericho's wife even storming the Capitol. Huh?
He did. He made a joke or commented on it like 18 months ago or something.
Yeah. So I can see him wanting to throw hands with him about whether it's the Jericho's anti-Black Lives Matter beliefs or his wife storming the Capitol or Jericho's support of the Trump administration, or he just want to throw hands with Jericho because Jericho can be fucking annoying sometimes. I don't know.
Maybe it's because we need a new Booker T versus Batista.
Yeah. Or Sheamus versus was the Japanese wrestler. It was
Yoshitatsu.
Yoshitatsu. Where if you hear that story from different perspectives, you'll see who really got the hands in business in that.
In 2 years from now, Yoshitatsu's gonna pop up and you'll be like, shit, Yoshitatsu. Manny, do you have any speculation on this story, or just we can move on?
I just don't understand why this is news. Like, it has happened apparently it's happened months ago as well, and it's just popped up now. I'm just like, why?
Manny, because people, as I tell people are more entertained what happens behind the scenes than they care what happens on the screen. Just knowing that MVP and Chris Jericho might have had some beef, and it also gives more fuel to why Santana and Ortiz can't stand Jericho ass anymore either, and why this Wednesday they gonna cut the hair off. It ain't gonna happen, but we can all be hopeful. So, gentlemen, I'll ask you guys.
But I'm just saying, if more people watch wrestling as a untelevised reality show, it is the greatest untelevised reality show of all time. Seeing coked out owners, out of touch old men who just goes with their kiss asses, their drama with their family involving Stephanie and stuff like that. All this outside drama is better than the shit in the ring. It's sad. Why can't we just have someone with a creative mind to come up with the drama that's going on outside and bring it to the inside? That's where we're at. Because people walking out throwing titles at each other, people not showing up to signings.
He's still one of my favorite.
Just drama.
Still one of my favorite controversies that took place at WWE this year is when Migos got teamed with Randy Orton and RK and Matt Riddle instead of the Street Profits, which still made me laugh my ass off that Randy got that cred and they didn't. But
they got better weed.
They did.
They got better weed. Dawkins got that sorry shit. Dawkins provides Montez with any weed he got, and it's terrible probably.
Luchador said the new swole Montez Ford is his future. He also added that Jericho's a MAGA food. Jericho is a Judas to America. I mean, he is Canadian, and MVP go down there as one of the greats to never win a world title. Maybe.
I would put him there. He was great.
So
he was going in the Continental. He was.
I don't know. He was on the come up when he left.
He was
WWE.
old.
Yeah, but he left WWE, and then when he went to Japan, that's when his career really took off.
Yeah,
really.
I think
everything he did was outside of WWE.
I think
go ahead.
I was gonna say I think that he did the same thing that Drew McIntyre did, but he had more success. He never really came back and got that WWE success that Drew McIntyre got after his run of making himself more valuable outside. I mean, he did exactly what Cody has done when he left WWE, went out there, created a character that they went back and they wanted.
Well, the problem with MVP was it took too long. It took too long, and then he got old. Yeah. So, like, you can't really regain that fountain of youth.
As he says himself, he lost a lot of time when he was doing his bid in prison. I mean, it's what happens. I mean, he got started in the game late.
Yeah, but MVP, if he were wrestling now, he would be a hot commodity, in AEW, and people will be able to see more of his work, whatever he did in Japan, because it's more exposure now thanks to the stuff that Cody and the Bucks and Omega and stuff were doing. I think if he was to do the stuff he was doing now, because when MVP was coming up, he was probably 35 when he finally made his data.
When he started like at 35, 40.
Yeah, but remember, at that time when he was coming up, when he was on the come up with Mr. Kennedy, we were all thinking, you know what? That's the future Rock Austin.
Yeah, you know, the craziest thing about the whole MVP thing is that the thing that's delusional, and it goes back to the whole black dot crack it, is that people thought he was a lot younger than what he really was. Like, because he looked really young. And then when you find out how old he was, it's like, damn. Like, he's in the wrestling prime when he's just starting out. And Mr. Kennedy was just a fuckboy, you know. I'm sorry, Marcus. That was one of that Mark. If we had a category,
What are you talking about? Why are you coming at me over Mr. Kennedy? What the fuck? Let me jump on MVP for a second.
Jimmy said y'all burned Drew McIntyre here in my head. I can't hear his name without hearing Griff Fidelio yell that in my head. That is true.
It's
true.
Go
ahead, Marcus.
Let me talk about MVP and his come up. I'm gonna say this. He was the original MJF in my opinion. Basically the same gimmick of someone with big money. When he first was debuting in wrestling, everybody thought he was gonna be trash. Like he came out and he had a ridiculous outfit and the cornrows and the thing, and everybody was like, he gonna be trash in the ring. And it turns out he just kept getting better and better as he became a student of the game. But he was just old. And that's what happened. And then, you know, he kind of just ran out of favorites with WWE, and you know, they kind of didn't do anything with him and teamed doing random tag teams with Cabal, as brought up randomly. And Matt Hardy. And then that was kind of it. And then, you know, he went on that Japan run. And, you know, the man was a very talented wrestler if he was able to, if his prime years was not taken away.
I just think that MVP was like at that right time when his character in WWE was, because he was like a black version of the $1 Million Man, but also he was
Chip Jones. But
he was also really tapping in. This is when WWE was actually tapping into the hip hop culture and also the athlete culture, where they were bigger than life, walking around with their big chains and just being over the top. It's one of those things that you always wonder where it would have been. But I think he did a great job outside, and he has a legacy. And I think many people can argue he had a Hall of Fame career for WWE and outside of wrestling.
Yeah, but again, you know, he was a good blueprint. He was a good second generation $1 Million Man. That's what I would say.
Okay.
Because there was $1 Million Man, then there was MVP. And then now you have MJF doing basically the same gimmicks.
So I know that Marcus did not get to partake in the Rampage acting. So we're
one last thing.
Okay.
You think he would have gave Jericho the business?
I think he would have gave him the BJJ. I don't think Jericho got 80. Marcus, I can whoop Jericho's ass.
I don't know, Eric.
Oh, it's
Marcus made me mad. I'm just saying. But
I think it'd be a competitive fight. He may get you in stamina.
Yeah, he might. But you know, I'm in the best shape of my life right now, so I don't know. I haven't tested myself. I haven't put
Jericho, book it, Thriller.
But I know Marcus.
You hear that motherfucker? He calling you out.
I know Marcus has not watched Rampage, so I'll end with AEW. So we'll just jump into the SmackDown world. Manny, sorry about that. So Marcus, main event for SmackDown was Matt Riddle against Sami Zayn, with the stipulation that if Riddle lost, he would be banned for SmackDown, or if Riddle won, he got to challenge Roman Reigns for the title. I don't know if these were fair stakes. Overall, I thought it was a very entertaining main event. I kept laughing at Paul Heyman trying to explain to Sami, stay on him. But he didn't try to cheat. What are you doing? What did you think of the main event, Marcus?
Well, one, the Bloodline are some damn fools for making Sami Zayn the gatekeeper of SmackDown. I would have trusted one of the Usos because I was assuming they weren't there in the back. I was assuming they weren't there, but when they came out and beat up Riddle, I was like, why not Jay? Made have been Jay Uso. Why not made have been Jay? He would have been a good gatekeeper. You don't trust that damn fool Sami Zayn out there who wouldn't stay on him. But I enjoyed the main event. I enjoyed that this was the setup for the match. It made me laugh that the stipulation is he's banned from SmackDown because motherfuckers shouldn't be on SmackDown in the first place. We had
he shouldn't be. He shouldn't
be. You know, Roman likes banishment. Roman enjoys a good banishment.
That's the sad thing we have to Daniel Bryan. I wonder whatever happened to him once he got banished from SmackDown for life.
Now, Manny, I didn't hear anything that you said. You kind of broke up. What did you have to say about the main event as you were frozen on the screen right now?
Oh, I just said Roman loves a good banishment.
Well, we'll get back to Manny because we're having technical difficulties. With that being said, we go back.
Fine. You're having technical difficulties. Manny is fine. I
Is
heard
he?
everything Manny said. It's you who isn't hearing what Manny said. You keep saying Manny's appetite continues. Manny is fine.
I
Okay,
didn't
you
hear
just
it.
don't like his. You ain't ready for his take. You ain't ready for his take.
You know what this is? This is the bigotry that's coming from Rora's Retro. I see what it is.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
That features in
You
the
don't
best
like-
of everyone. Watch that.
Look at my equality that I showed up on Raw's Retro as a black man, and we had a Filipino man, and we had everybody. We had a good melting pot. But Eric does not like that because he is the biggest racist on this channel. Period.
El Luchador say, didn't Sami Zayn used to be a really amazing wrestler? What happened? Manny, I'll let you answer this question because I don't think he stopped being an amazing wrestler. I think
still
he's
a good wrestler.
I think he's great right now.
People are putting disrespect on him also because of that WrestleMania match with Johnny Knoxville. But that was the best wrestling match you could have had with Johnny Knoxville. It was fun. It took you out of the moment for a minute of like taking wrestling so seriously. But like it was a good match, and there was a great story behind it. Sami Zayn has just excelled in better storytelling these days.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just that, yeah, he's not winning every match, but sometimes you don't have to win in order to win. You can lose and still win. And I think Sammy is a true testament of that. Speaking of someone winning, Manny, your boy Gunther, finally, he's got gold on the main roster. He defeated Ricochet, who was just holding the belt for Gunther. We knew this was happening. Was this too soon, or did you are you happy that the title change took place?
I'm happy the title change took place, but there's a question here of is it gonna mean something again because it's on Gunther, or is it just basically he's placeholding again until WWE get tired of him being Intercontinental Champion and put it on someone else? Because the rumor is from Fightful is the higher ups are very happy with the progress Gunther has made, especially with all the weight loss that they told him to do, and he's in magnificent shape.
I agree, but I think that Gunther falls into the same category that poor Roman falls into. He doesn't really have an opponent. So, Marcus, going forward, do you see an extended program between Gunther and Ricochet, or is it going to be somebody else?
No, Ricochet is gone. He has Roderick Strong disease. And that's why I'm going to dump anybody that can't come up with any type of personality or character for themselves, but they are really talented. Yeah, you got that Roderick Strong. Damn. Gunther falls in the category. I hope he doesn't fall into the Shinsuke category of, yeah, he got the title, but he's never defended it for 8 months. I think they're going to do something with Gunther. He has good opponents. I mean, if you think about your Sheamuses, your Butch, Gulak, Shinsuke, because he's doing nothing. You got some matchups there in the mid card for Gunther to fight. And I'm happy that this title is off Richard O'Shea. Because that's the highlight of his career.
So
being on the main roster.
So will Richard O'Shea now show up? Will he show up at NXT like his boy Apollo and just yell out Ricochet, or do you?
I don't think that theme song works the same way. Ricochet,
Ricochet.
Going back to Riddle earning his shot at Roman Reigns, Manny, do you think Riddle actually has a chance to usurp the head of the table? Do you think he can win?
No.
Okay. Wow.
There's a reason why this is happening on TV, Eric.
Marcus, what about
Roman Reigns pulled out of Money in the Bank?
Mark, do you think part-time Roman has a chance to lose it so we can have a champion on TV every day?
Oh, I believe part-time Roman's day is coming. It's a coming, but it has nothing to do with Gunther. People who are going to take his title is Cody Rhodes, Matt Riddle, and probably Hollywood Black Adam himself, The Rock. Those are his threats to his title right now.
So, Marcus, I have a more important question for you because
I'm going to call Black Adam right now.
When I was watching SmackDown, when I was watching SmackDown, Marcus, I thought back to many episodes of the show, and you said that you would never get tired or something, Marcus. So we had the initial Money in the Bank qualifying match that started the show off. It was Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. Marcus, my question for you: are you tired of Drew McIntyre and Sheamus yet?
Eric, look at me when I say this. Look at me. Hold on. I want my eyes to cross for this one. No, I am not sick of this. I can watch these dudes fight over and over and over again to the end of time. and not get tired of it. I mean, I just like watching these dudes hit each other, and when they just break off into these random disqualifications of hitting each other with chairs and shit, I'm all for it because I just enjoy these two dudes. They look like they I feel like they're having the time of their life. When Sheamus broke out the what move did he do? The Future Shock DDT. I was like, oh, this is old. It's old. He a damn fool tonight. He a damn fool. And then Sheamus and then Drew McIntyre did white noise. I was like, oh, they serious about this shit. I'm all for it. It never gets old to me. I enjoy watching these dudes fight. This is like watching,
So Manny,
Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, or something.
what was your impression of the match? And overall, I enjoyed the backstage of both Drew and Sheamus, both demanding that they should be put into the Money in the Bank match. And I love the fact that Sheamus was so upset. What you mean Drew was already here? Because he knows that Adam was in the pocket of Drew, and he was outraged. I enjoyed the storytelling aspect of these two individuals.
I enjoyed the whole thing. I don't think there's anything wrong with this double counter because something's gonna double disqualification. At least something's gonna come out of it. But like, I don't feel like they needed the double disqualification. But I got it now, and do you know what? The promos that came after it were funny.
Yeah. I also like how Drew just kicked Butch off. Like Butch wasn't even anything. Like, get out of my way, Claymore.
Butch was being annoying as fuck in this match, and I would have had to fight him anyway. He was jumping on aprons. He was trying to fight Drew before the match, in the match, and then even when they went to the back, fucking Butch tried to attack Adam Pearce, and it was outrageous. And I support everything here. Weapon Ridge, when did he get hurt?
Oh, something happened to his knee. Everybody's getting hurt right now. But speaking of something that I think.
Can I also chime in and say I was happy with the double count out, and I hope it leads to both of them not being in the Money in the Bank match.
Okay.
Drew is as stale as church crackers, and he needs to be away from that title. He is not beating Roman ever.
So El Luchador said, Marcus, McIntyre versus Sheamus in the best of 100, first to 51 wins. Marcus, are you there for that?
Well, I think we've already passed 100.
Okay.
I think we've already passed that. So I'm still there for it. I'm still there. I don't care.
Now,
I enjoy it.
I will point out that not all heroes wear capes, but there was one heroic effort that took place this week on Friday Night SmackDown. This person sacrificed himself for the greater good, and that individual was Shotzi Blackheart. She saved us. She saved us from one of the most horrendous.
Ronda, shut up.
Ronda. I mean, like, I have never seen someone come out as like Ronda's look like she just willing your milkless. Yeah, and this is what I'm going to do. And it's like Shotzi came out there, showed her how to cut a promo, lost in the process.
I don't know,
but man, just let Ronda wrestle and don't let Ronda talk. That's all I need, right, Manny? Right?
Yeah, Shotzi kicked the shit out of Ronda to the point where I visibly saw her saying, "Are you okay?"
Are you okay? Shotzi's a nice person, but
Shotzi don't want to be fired, man. Shit.
Ronda Rousey, when she cuts a promo, reminds me of, and we've all seen Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers the modern day, and we all see Beowulf or whatever those movies were. That's what she looks like when she's cutting a promo. Those still dead eyes.
The Polar Express eyes, Marcus. The Polar Express eyes.
The Polar Express eyes. The CG character that goes out there and talks, and it is terrible, and she is trash. But the match was solid, and I was like, oh, they actually gave us time. I thought Shotzi was just going to get her ass whooped and squash, but Shotzi was the most competitive I've ever seen. Shotzi might be the longest Shotzi TV match in the history of Shotzi Blackheart matches.
I'm missing the Shotzi death spot. I haven't seen it in about a year. I need it.
Maybe they told just stop, Shotzi.
You know, of course,
I don't care.
I enjoyed this match a lot more than watching my poor girl Xia Li job out to Lacey Evans again.
She punched the fuck out.
Yeah, she got the women's right. And
wait a minute. You got problems with this match? You got problems with Lacey Evans? You got problems with G.I.J.?
You know I prefer Xia Li. You know I prefer Xia Li. You know. I mean,
Xia Li was going to get knocked the fuck out. Xia Li was always going to get knocked the fuck out.
The only positive was that this was McAfee's first time seeing the women's right in person, and he reacted accordingly.
No, I reacted accordingly because it looked like she killed Xia Li. It was really good camera work. And it looked like she really connected. And unlike your boy Jensen, who never connected on a punch like that, Xia Li looked like she got knocked the fuck out and put to sleep.
But you know,
I will pay Xia Li to get knocked out all the time like that. Like if Xia Li sells a punch like that all the time, Xia Li needs to be on TV all the time, get knocked the fuck out, and I'll be entertained.
In the grand scope of things, I would say that WWE was shaped and completely reshaped by the torn pec of Cody Rhodes. Not only did Edge lose his job in Judgment Day, Apollo got demoted to NXT. Thank God for that.
Nothing to do with Cody.
Riddle got a shot at Roman. I don't know.
Anyway?
Huh? We don't know, man. We don't know.
Anyway. Riddle was getting that shot.
But good news is that Brandy reported that Cody's pec the surgery was a success, and he's on the road to recovery. I guess we'll see him in 6 months.
I can't wait for that reality show, Road to Recovery.
No,
is Road to the Top season 2 coming out or what?
No, Mark. It flopped, Marcus. It flopped.
No, Road to the Top 2. Season 2, damn it. I want season 2. I want to see him leave AEW on TNT and see what happens. I want to see the drama.
It couldn't pull the 643,000 that Miz and Maurice pulled on their show. 643.
Well, Miz pulled that shit out when she broke out them titties overall.
Well, and they talked about his tiny balls. You know, what can you say?
Massive balls.
Massive balls. Above average balls, but healthy.
Healthy. 200 episodes. Congratulations, you guys. So, Betty, since we can switch over to AEW because we can talk about Rampage. And before we even get into Rampage, I want to know this question for you guys. Do you guys think that when everything started going down when CM Punk hurt his foot, do you think that Tony Khan, his first option was like, you know what? We need to put Jon Moxley in this situation. Or was Jon Moxley the default choice? Manny, I'll go to you first. Do you think Jon Moxley was the first choice, or do you think that's just what they had left with?
This is a ridiculous question because you're now asking us what does a crackhead think? And
crack.
Wow, he's not even on coke no more, Manny. Wow, you downgraded him.
Wow, he's crack.
Damn, he's with the Houston status.
And I don't know how coke heads or crackheads think. Very erratically.
Well, I do.
Go ahead, Marcus. The champion says Manny can't figure this out.
We lost a champion. You know what we need? You know what we need to do? Belts. More belts. That's the problem. We need an interim belt. We need All Atlantic belt. We need everything. All right. Call in Will Ospreay. Call in the Great Okan. Bring them all over. Have Tanahashi fight Goto for no reason this weekend. We need belts, damn it. All belts. Anyway, that's kind of what he went to. And then he was like, oh, yeah, Jon Moxley's our next champion. But I think, seriously, the plan was for Punk's first opponent to be Jon Moxley. And that's why he's becoming champion. And somewhere in between there. And, you know, I think at All Out would have been the next pay-per-view at the Forbidden Door.
When's Full Gear? Has that already happened?
No, Winter is here. It takes place.
Or is it Revolution?
Full Gear or Revolution. No, Revolution happens in February.
You know the stuff. What's the next pay-per-view?
Well, it's Forbidden Door, but Full Gear is next, I think.
But do you think
Full Gear? I think it was going to be Mox and Punk. Even though in the Blackpool Combat Club, the better wrestler is Bryan Danielson. Damn it!
But he's hurt also, injured. Marcus.
Yeah, I know.
But do you think there was a possibility if Adam Cole wasn't hurt, would he be in the position where Jon Moxley was at? Do you think that could have been a possibility?
No.
Okay.
No, they don't care about no Adam
You think
Cole.
It was always Jon Moxley that was going to be at the Forbidden?
1,000%. It has to be Mox. It was going Mox and Punk. That's their top two of their top 5 wrestlers right there. That the fans love unapologetically. So it would have been a big business. All Out probably in Chicago again. I don't know. Because Forbidden Doors in Chicago. I have no idea what their schedule is, but I'm saying that would have been the show.
So you know,
I just feel like we really beat around the bush to get there.
All right, so AEW also decided this week. They decided it's time to announce a new championship belt, and that was, Manny, if you can put the belt back up there for one more time. It was the All Atlantic Champion, which is a belt that apparently is their version of the Intercontinental Champion. Marcus called it the European Championship. However, I feel like they introduces this belt, and I didn't care about the belt. I wasn't as upset as Marcus was about the belt. My biggest complaint is the lack of logic behind of how you challenge for the belt. It didn't matter about any of the rankings. It mattered where country origin that you were from. And that's how the tournament brackets got made. And that bothered me to an extent.
Very creepy.
It was like,
where you from?
I'm from Canada.
It doesn't make sense though, because there's so many Americans on that roster. How do you
and
just
it's like,
select one?
it's like, and then like, this is a new championship, and you only do a tournament of 8 people.
No,
and I was
4,
like,
isn't it? No, it's 8.
it's
Sorry.
8 because like, but I was like, really? This is what we're doing? And then where do you put? Now, where does the TNT title, like, Thunder Rosa already complained about, like, yeah, she doesn't get any time. And then you have the fact that Marina Shafir, who just keep getting title shots, got another title shot. I don't understand why we have rankings. I don't understand anything. I didn't understand the Battle Royal because anybody in the Battle Royal that makes Wardlow wasn't in there. MJF wasn't in there. Adam Page wasn't in there. And it was just like, what the hell is going on in AEW? I'm confused.
Let me chime in. Let me go to the chat with Luchador, and please fill in if you're in the chat, if you are out there, so we don't have to always go to constantly Luchador. But on his take, the All Card champion should have been the All Atlantic champion. They should have just did that. They could have just gave the belt to the winner of that. Instead, they have Adam Cole carrying the Owen belt and Britt Baker carrying the other Owen belt. And now we're about to have another person carry another belt. I just think it's too many belts. Everybody got a belt. And you know they're coming out with that trios title. You know it's going to be a trios title, so everybody and their mama going to have a belt. Everybody's going to be happy. But I don't care about these belts. It's not the belts. It's the characters that I care about. Who's carried the belt. Miro had the TNT title. I cared so much about the TNT title when Miro had it because he was God's favorite champion. Not because, I hope Miro gets a title. I don't care about that. Give me a good character any day of the week. And there's something to a character with titles and I hate it. And there's something to this with storyline because they have no real storylines going. Now that MJF is gone and the Wardlow thing, that's the only storyline. Where's MJF going? That's not a real storyline. Give me a real storyline, damn it. Give me a storyline.
He knocked over the mic. On the Lakers Nation podcast this week, they had Scorpio Sky on there. He brought Jenny on the show, and he was giving all the intricacies of his TNT title. And I was like, his belt, Marcus, the TNT title.
Why
Jenny.
is it one name?
It's Jenny, yes. It's been called. They called it Jenny the whole time, man. It's been Jenny. Marcus, your Laker hate this.
Bus?
Jenny, as in Jenny Bus. Yes, Marcus. It's named after that. And he was going over all the things that went behind making that title. The sad part about it, he's going to probably lose the title this week. I think he has to defend it this week. He's probably going to drop it. But he did say that he would be the only one to ever hold that title, according to him. But
eliminate the titles. Too many titles on all promotions.
Well, Marcus,
the United States title.
Marcus just hates titles. But I want to say that I understand that your thing about AEW is to eliminate titles. My thing is that let's eliminate debuts because debuts keep happening and they keep falling flat. Will Ospreay finally makes his debut on American television and got Dynamite. It fell flat. Rampage was even worse because his team of goons lost. Manny, Will Ospreay at one point was one of the biggest free agents in the game.
I didn't see the match. I don't know who he used.
He used his team. He even used Jeff Cobb. Yeah, he used the Aussie. What I don't know what their name are, but Manny, like Ospreay has always been led to believe he's a big deal. He was not presented as a big deal to me this week.
No, he was presented as a joke.
Yeah,
on AEW TV. Like he came out like he was some. He came out like he was some type of final boss on Dynamite, but then what we got presented to us on Rampage was just like he's just a joke.
What happened? This in a pre-show and thing. I'm like, what could have happened? Will Ospreay is a great wrestler.
He was putting a trios match, Marcus. He was putting a trios match with FTR and Trent Beretta going against Ospreay and the Aussie. I don't know who they are. The tall
Aussie
guys of his crew.
Something.
Aussie Connection. And at the end of the day, the match really didn't highlight Ospreay or what he can do. Like, he got beat up the majority of the match, and at the end of it, Trent Beretta ended up pinning one of the Aussies to get the win for that team. So his debut showed up. He debuted and lost. And if I'm New Japan, I'm not happy with the way you presented one of my bigger stars.
Yeah, one of their top guys, really.
Like, you really made him look mediocre compared. Like, they did a far superior job presenting as Manny Hayes Switchblade than they did Ospreay. Like, there we go. And Marcus, I hate that you didn't see it because the match was just, it was okay, but it was just like, this guy just debuted. He came up there, he's throwing up his set and all that, and then his set goes out and they lose to like a makeshift team of FTR and Trent Beretta. Like, it wasn't.
FTR is the best tag team in the world, so they don't lose.
Yeah, but so like, I would have felt better if like Dax, who was having the best 2020 of any wrestler, 2022 of any wrestler I know, if he would have got the pin. But no, it was Trent Beretta. I was just bothered by that because I thought Trent was taking the pin. I really did.
They tried to. They also tried to bring up the history between Trent and Will Ospreay in the Mark Henry spot, and like I think that was the reason Trent got the pin, but it just didn't make sense. Like, when watching it, it just felt it definitely fell flat for someone like me that doesn't watch New Japan really and doesn't know the hype. And I don't watch Rev Pro. I don't watch anything about Rev Pro. I don't know anything really outside of Will Ospreay. Once upon a time was considering he was more teasing at WWE he was playing WWE to get a bigger contract with New Japan. It's basically what it was. He was always going to stay with them. That's all I know about him, man. Like, he has
he's upset he ain't got the money.
So tune the ETE to get more analysts, as I would like to hear Jamal's perspective on what happened on this. Maybe I'll watch Rampage and see what happened. Because I'm a big fan of Will Ospreay. I think he's one of the best. He's one of my current top 5, top 10, and whatever in the world right now.
He wasn't highlighted at all in the match, Marcus. You didn't get to see anything that Will Ospreay
did. Anything that makes him special wasn't on there.
Will Ospreay and Trent? Is that what it seemed like they were doing?
It seemed like it. It seemed like it. But anything that has made Will Ospreay seem special was not highlighted on Rampage.
Like, he hit his cutter, but I mean, like, everybody does a cutter, so it wasn't like a really big deal. And I'm like, okay.
I mean, Thing also hit a cutter on the same show.
Yeah, it was just like, okay. Like, it just, like, for me, especially since he was presented on Dynamite as the boss, like, he is the leader of that. I don't understand. He should have never been in that match. Like, he should have been, I think it would have been more if he would have been on the apron and let his goons lose without him being a part of the match. Because I don't think that the main boss should be on a part of the losing team. That's just how I look at it, if that's how they were going to book it. And then you had actually Statlander and Red Velvet actually had a plausible match. It was an okay match.
Plausible?
It was like, it wasn't as bad as
people sleep on Chris Statlander. She's actually one of the best in that division.
And she carried Red Velvet to a match. I mean, the baddie section don't exist anymore. They sit at ringside out with chairs. I mean, it you know what? Dynamite, I mean, Rampage was what Rampage was. Like, you got a segment where Danhausen asked,
why are you talking about that? Just ignore that. Pretend that didn't happen, Eric.
Manny, there's nothing else really to talk about.
Yeah, this show's over.
Oh, that's true. Oh, well, Marcus, actually, believe it or not, there was a meaningless match that took place that was actually a pretty good match that started off Rampage. It was Jake Hager versus Eddie Kingston. It happened.
I've talked about people stealing a living. Like I said, Christian stealing a living in AEW. Jake Hager is stealing a living in AEW.
Yeah, it's like,
why is he still even a part of AEW?
You asked the question. Like, when I was watching the match, I was like, when's the last time has Jake Hager had a match on AEW television?
Yeah, outside of
a singles match.
When was the last time he had a match?
And let me ask you a question. Marcus. Do you know who won that match?
Eddie Kingston.
He did.
Yeah, why wouldn't he win?
I don't know.
He's the biggest.
Eddie Kingston barely ever wins.
Yeah, Eddie Kingston never wins.
He don't beat Jake Hager. I would have been upset if Eddie Kingston lost to Jake Hager. Jake Hager's a joke at this point. He's a gun for hire.
That is also true. And that
How
was pretty
dare
much.
you not even put Sheeta in that list? I will not put Rosa in that list. I will not. I refuse. I rebuke your list.
Wow, man, you cannot dislike Gunther Rosa like that. She is not that bad. It's just that she's also very dependent on the strength of her opponent too. I mean, Marina Shafir and her, it was okay, but
That was terrible.
it just. I mean, but Marina Shafir is bad though. It's the reason why WWE let her go.
Marina Shafir is pretty much a librarian. Whenever she comes out, it's quiet.
No, as Marcus called her, she's Roger Strode. She got the Roger Strode effect, and that's great because that's her husband. So I mean, he'd rub off on her.
Yeah, but you know his wrestling ability is so much better. His speaks more than what. Like she gets the. This is a really interesting part.
You know, the greatest thing about her is that she's kind of doing the hook angle, like she's trying to be like she's a silent badass, but it just doesn't.
But she don't win.
Don't win. It's like she wins on dark, but she don't win no place else.
Anyone can win on dark.
I got 2 wins on dark this week.
I think I got 2 wins too, man.
I was like, oh shit, I'm undefeated on dark. I'm in line for a TNT title match? How? You know who I fought?
Wow.
Bologna sandwich.
Wow, Hager is Jericho's clan henchman. Wow, that's a damn.
Accurate.
Damn.
100% accurate.
Oklahoman. But I mean, that was pretty much Rampage. I mean, I don't think it was anything else of any relevance that took place on that show. I mean, is there?
You got. I know you always say, "Oh boy, gonna touch on SmackDown and Rampage." And I don't give a fuck about those shows. Hey, the wrestling landscape is changing. What are your comments on Seth and Cody? What are your comments about Dynamite? What's going on in the world, man? There's a lot going on. What are your opinions out there? I don't care about your thoughts on Rampage. No one gives a flying fuck about Rampage, and I'm saying that with the most venom in my voice. It is Sunday Night Heat. It is the best.
Eric was trying to get you out of here early, and he wants to finish early. Yeah, you're bringing up more questions.
Yeah, but Manny,
I don't give a fuck.
But Manny, I can answer this question. I thought the way that they handled the Seth and Cody situation was, I thought it was an A+ way they handled that segment. I thought Cody coming out there, I mean, first of all, he got to introduce the WWE crowd to the lady who's gonna save us all, Liberty. I mean, because WWE fans didn't know. WWE fans didn't know, so he let us know that he had a little baby girl named Liberty, and he had that match to show her no matter what happened, you can still overcome stuff. And let's give Corey Graves a shot. You know, the broken angle lot, the broken winged angel. Now that was a great thing. That was a great line that he said. But I thought Seth coming out there saying, I respect you, Cody. I don't like you, but I respect you. I was like, this motherfucker crazy. He gonna whoop his ass. And when Cody was taking his time walking up the rep, I was like, that ass whooping is coming. And it was an ass whooping deserved because you had to write his ass off TV. Because quite frankly, if he wrestled in the Hell in a Cell match with a torn pectoral muscle, he can keep coming to Raw each day to keep us entertained. So the sledgehammer is more powerful than the torn pec. I know that for a fact.
Question. Edge, old man Edge being jumped up by old man Finn. What are your thoughts on the Judgment Day and their new look? Jobbed out in the week?
So the interesting thing about it, so I have to give you 2 perspectives, Marcus. I have to give you the perspective as a fan who doesn't know what's going on, but just watch what they saw on television, and then a person who heard what happened backstage. As a fan, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by, because I like Finn, I like Priest, I like Rhea. Rhea actually, even with Finn being in charge, she still became the #1 contender for the women's title. So that didn't really change. The question is WWE going to have their way with Judgment Day, which Edge was pushing back against, that they want to have some extraterrestrial, extra natural shit that was going on, that Edge said, I'm not doing this shit. Finn is all about that stuff. I'm about to smoke a beer, so I'm down for it. So I'm still, Marcus, it might be retribution though. It might end up being retribution, but at the same time, I'm all in.
There was nothing spooky about Retribution.
No, I'm just talking about where Retribution showed up, and the next thing it fizzled out.
It's already fizzling out.
Yeah, but do we really need the spooky? Come on,
Marcus,
I hope we spooky.
Marcus, spooky might bring Bray back. I mean, because
I missed the spooky. I used to get it with Alexa Bliss.
Hey.
Remember when she started throwing things when Lily
Manny,
was throwing things at Shayna
Manny,
Baszler? That was hilarious.
let me tell you, Alexa Bliss needs the spooky because right now she's like a default female wrestler right now. It's like she has nothing going for her. I feel bad for Alexa. She's going through the motions, man.
No spooky. Let's get
So, Mark, you had other questions? You want to ask me about Apollo?
Yeah, I was about to go Apollo. We're
Hey.
up to his spear, his Nigerian accent, and more importantly, is this the end of Commander Aziz?
Let me tell you, his
Apparently
Nigerian
he's gone to NXT with him.
his
But they're not gonna
Nigerian
be together.
accent, Marcus, his Nigerian accent doesn't carry a visa, so it can't travel to the borders of NXT. So that's why it's not there. Quite frankly, I felt that I've said this many times on the show. I always felt that Apollo was called up too soon, that he needed more time at NXT. I'm not really sure if this is the right approach, but I think, hey, why not? I mean, he got into a major player. I thought this is the most interesting I've seen Apollo in a long time, and he didn't have the spear, so I was happy for him.
Also about the situation, who else would you send down right now to NXT? Or are we still to see the black and gold brand back, and they're just gonna start throwing random people from NXT's black and gold days back? All right, here you go, Bobby Roode. Here you go.
No, Marcus. Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler showed up in the most awkward segment ever on Monday Night Raw, where they showed up when we got the Oakland stage. Hey, I didn't know they had the Oakland stage, and I haven't watched Monday Night Raw in a long time, but the Oakland stage was brought out.
And it's him back to the official Oakland stage ever. It was unceremoniously announced.
And the greatest thing about that invitation is, like, the Dirty Dogs have no reason to ever be out there in front of the audience. They could just be in the back interviewed. But whatever reason, we're getting a feud between almost MVP and Rude and Ziggler. So it's happening. I don't know why, but it's happening. But as of right now, I can't think of anybody that I would sit back down. Maybe Shotzi, just because she ain't really doing that on the main roster.
You said Bliss back down.
Ooh.
Manny, I don't think those 200 people can handle Bliss in NXT. I don't think they
Yeah,
could.
but they can. They seem to just about handle Nikita Lyons.
That's true.
Eric, quick thoughts, man. I just asked for quick thoughts on some of this stuff that happened during the week. Roxanne
He gave us
Perez.
his quick thought. He was in the chat for every show. It's just that you don't read the chat.
Manny, let Marcus answer his questions. He's tired. Go ahead, Marcus.
He doesn't read the chat on ETE.
Wait, I put your comments up there, Manny. All right.
No, not as much as we do for Levi.
Wow.
Wait,
you guys, I wore the title. I want to see unity. I don't want to see division. Marcus, go ahead with your question, please.
This is the formerly Untitled Manny and Marcus show. This is now the Manny and Marcus who don't read the comments show. Is that Bye.
At one point, Eric was the only person in the chat.
Marcus, what's your question?
That was a tough show. I got
That was Thursday.
It's getting beaten out by Raw Retro this week, which I don't understand why it's beating.
People like, oh shit, Manny.
You put Stone Cold in there, I gotta pay attention. I'm just saying. There's a reason he's still one of the top sellers in merchandise on the WWE shop.
I'm upset my Cody shirt didn't make it today. It's gonna be delivered today.
You got a Cody shirt? You ain't.
Goddamn right, I got a Cody shirt.
You have sold out. You are
Marcus, how could I have sold out? Even Cody was the only thing I've ever praised in AEW. I've been with Cody since day one. Even when he tried to cure racism, Marcus. Marcus, you can go on record, and you know you can understand how deep in pockets I am with Cody, is that I have actually said positive things about Brandy on this show.
Not recently.
But I have in the past, though. But I haven't said anything negative. Boop.
That's like a racist saying he's got black friends.
Hey, your black friend is Randy?
Manny, put it up. I'm not going to read it. Because El Luchador know who I am.
He didn't sell out. He bought in. Oh yeah, you own that one stock. You gotta disclose that. Can you disclose that you own that one stock?
One stock. Let's just be honest.
Singular.
I'm the Jerry Lawler version of WWE. Like this probably yes, everything they do is great. Mark, do you have any more questions?
Run it back.
Huh? Man, no, man. I'm sick of that shit, man. It's like the New Day and the Usos. I'm tired of Usos need to find some Caucasians or some Hispanic people to fight. I'm tired of fighting blacks. I'm tired. Los Lotharios, where you at?
Too busy kissing people.
Oh, your boy Santos is a slave.
I don't want to talk about it. We don't talk about that. Where was that bitch at, man? Where's she at? I know she was dirty.
Here's my real question.
Electra Lopez.
On commentary, Tony D'Angelo or Paul Heyman in criticizing wrestlers who are working for them.
So I prefer Paul Heyman. I prefer Paul Heyman because, as Manny says, Tony D'Angelo's voice is so annoying. Like I just like shut the fuck up, dude. Stop talking. What are you doing? I'm like,
nobody wants to see that Santos. Nobody
wants to see that Santos. Like I'm just hoping. I hope this doesn't last more than 2 weeks, man. That's all I gotta say. I can't see.
My favorite moment is the dive when Santos dove to the outside. Did a really nice dive and stared at Tony D'Angelo. And Tony was like, that was nothing. That was nothing. You're nothing. I'm like,
wait. We're talking about dives? Eric, how have you not spoken about Dawkins' dive?
Oh! Dawkins got up. Dawkins got up.
Dawkins got air.
Well, Manny, let me point out. When you're breadwinner, when you can see your breadwinners making moves, you realize you got to step your game up and show that you're still valuable. Montez bulking up is the most dangerous, is probably the most threat of being irrelevant Dawkins has ever felt. Like, at this point, he sees the writing on the wall. So he had to show them that, hey, guys, I have other talents. I could be, if you guys need me to be Bearcat Dawkins, I could be Bearcat Dawkins. You know.
Oh, Eric, I'm glad you're my brother because I can see Vince in the meeting. We can release Keith Lee. What? If I need a Bearcat, I got him right there. Dawkins
Bearcat Dawkins, man.
Prove it to him.
I mean, he got to do something.
Vince's secret project is Dawkins.
He got to do something, man. He got to do something with Montez go out on his own, man. He got to. It's like, I don't think, I'll put it this way. I don't know if the Street Profits will be together by the time Cody comes back. I don't know. I don't know.
Wow.
Eric, should Becky have won the 24/7 title?
Marcus, she should have. But Asuka's a bitch. Because let me tell you why Asuka's a bitch for 2 reasons. A, not only did she cost Becky the 24/7 title, B, she didn't even care when the 24/7 champion walked away, knowing that she could have took Dana Brooke out with 1 kick. She just let that shit go away. That's petty. That is petty. But I'm all there for it.
At least you have Dawkins go up future endeavor by the end of the year. Also a possibility.
I prefer Bearcat Dawkins just for me.
AEW Dark. Yeah.
AEW Dawkins. Yeah. Marcus, you could team Dawkins up with Red Velvet and they can cook it up together in the kitchen.
They create and they be the mixed tag team champions.
You know Dawkins is teaming with Swerve. You just know it.
Yeah. The future of Dawkins.
I didn't know your boy Swerve was taking criticism online for being a tag team with Keith Lee and not being a single star. I didn't know people really want to see him as a single star.
I don't care about him enough to even make comments about him.
For the record, I'm gonna say this. It's gonna be my hot take. I don't know if you guys have hot take. I was watching I listened to the Rewatchables podcast, and they now have the Stephen A. Smith Award for the hot take about a movie or something.
Hey,
but my hot take right now: Swerve Scott more interesting than Keith Lee right now.
Shout out to JJ Redick and CJ McCullough for shutting up Stephen A. Smith. Ain't nothing like seeing that man backtrack. when CJ said, "So you just gonna talk bad about a black man?" I was like, "What? No, but no." That shit was hilarious.
But you know, I don't understand why would he invite them. People just come like I would not invite current basketball players because they just talk shit about Steven Smith. Patrick Beverly hates that man. They hate this man. But you know, it is.
Well, with all being said and with all being done, it is time for this show to come to an end.
Give me a hot take to end the show, Eric. That's how we should end our show. Give me a hot take. Give
Marcus,
me one
I
hot
can't.
take.
Marcus, my hot take.
We can't say anything.
My hot take was Bearcat Dawkins, Marcus. I can't top that one. I can't. Because the fact is, if Bearcat Dawkins is more successful than Montez Ford, that's even more crazier. Just think about it.
Manny, give me a hot take. It's just off the wall.
Damn. Marcus, what's your hot takes? Since you want people to have hot takes?
Fuck it, I give a hot take. Roman Reigns is gonna lose.
That's rude, Manny. I was actually listening to his hot take. I was curious what he was gonna say.
Where did it cut off at?
I just heard Roman Reigns.
Oh, yeah. You should end it with that because I'm going to do it again. Let's end the show with Roman Reigns is going to, and then boom, the show ends. It's like, oh no, we never know what he's going to say. And I'm going to, I told y'all, if my hot take was never cut out. Now, Roman Reigns.
You're saying that? To who?
To Matt Riddle.
Nah.
I think it's a possibility, man. I'm telling you.
I think there's a possibility Roman may lose that Clash at the Castle. And it's going to unfortunately be Drew.
I think it's something more going on with Roman than what we really know. And I don't know. I feel like, and surprisingly, believe it or not, I don't know if you can give WWE credit in this situation, but I think Riddle is over enough to actually be a transitional champ until they can figure out what they're going to do with the title.
No, because I thought that there was a plan that Randy was supposed to be SummerSlam for Roman.
Riddle beats Roman, and
then Brock comes beat up Riddle.
And no, Randy turns on Riddle because he wants to win he wants to win that title to pass Ric Flair. Woo!
I mean, it's a story that writes itself, and then Roman can be at home and figure out whatever the hell is going on with his life. Because I think something is happening. I'm not really sure what it is, but something's not right.
He's going to Hollywood. I like your concern for Roman's life. Yeah, I think he's happy.
Well, guess what? Next Saturday, we'll have answers to these questions. We'll find out what happens when the main event takes place of Riddle versus Roman Reigns. So, good luck. Until that time, I'm Eric.
I'm Lord Manny Hayes.
Oh, it's my cue. I'm Marcus the Grand Finale. That's just see how long you guys will take it. But I was like, nah.
And until next time, stay sharp. We out.